Welcome back to r/LegalAdvice, where people ask questions, get advice, and we get satisfaction. If you are new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe to join our amazing community, and without any further ado, let's dive right into the stories. And the first one is titled, South Carolina neighbor cut down their tree so that it landed on our property and won't remove it. How can we get them to remove it? I am posting this on behalf of my mother, so some info might be missing. Feel free to ask if you think there's something you need to know. The tree in question is a very dead white pine that has been dead for over a decade. Our neighbors had complained about the tree somewhere around a month or two ago and were suggesting that we cut down this tree that we knew was on their side of the property line at our expense, because they so graciously cut down another tree on their side of the property line that was dropping tree-sized branches in our yard at their expense a year ago. We know the tree cut down was theirs because of surveys we had done due to a dispute several years ago. They claim it is our tree and claim to have an attorney and an arborist backing them up on this. And yet no surveyor is mentioned, strange isn't it? And are asking us to get a surveyor at our expense. We should still have the survey details, but we would have to dig them out. But I'm not entirely sure it even matters who owns the tree in this case, at least in terms of who is liable. If we are right and it is their tree, then, as far as our research has told us, they have to remove the debris because they deliberately cut it down into our yard. If they are right, then they just trespassed and destroyed our tree, and well, I'm not sure how much a dead pine tree is worth, but I would hope costs of removal would be part of the damages. A lot of the communication was done in person, but my mother also has a text message conversation with the neighbor that goes over the important details. I have told her to stop communicating with them for the time being. So, the main questions I am hoping to have answered here. Number 1, who is liable for removing the tree debris? Number 2, can we skip the arborist on this one? I mean, we both agree the tree was dead, neither of us were too attached to it, and I really don't expect a dead pine tree to be valuable, if it is even ours, which we doubt. Number 3, will our previous survey info be usable if we end up needing it? Number 4, what is the least expensive way to get them to remove the tree? We have homeowners insurance, but we are not sure if we would still have to pay the deductible, and since the damages are limited mostly to the tree itself being there, it would likely not even meet the deductible. And a user in the comments said, not a lawyer, but this is assuming the tree is/was indeed on your property. In South Carolina, the criminal statute section 1611-520 provides a it is unlawful for a person to willfully and maliciously cut, mutilate, deface, or otherwise injure a tree, house, outside fence, or fixture of another, or commit any other trespass upon real property of another person. They committed a crime by both trespassing and cutting down the tree. The tree being dead, of course, would affect the amount said tree is worth, but it does not change the fact that they violated the above statute. Personal property being already damaged, naturally or unnaturally, does not negate the fact that it can be damaged further and that the person responsible may be held liable. You likely have two main options. Number 1, inform the neighbor that they violated this statute, but inform them that you would be willing to let the issue go so long as they agree to remove the debris. Number 2, speak to a lawyer/law enforcement and follow through with attempting legal action against them for the offense. Regardless, my actual advice would be to first find the survey results and then seek a consultation with a lawyer prior to deciding the best course of action. And another person in the comments said, I'm no lawyer, but just offering some common sense. If it was on their side and you have strong evidence that it was, then it is their right to take care of it, since the base of it was on their property and they cut it down, making it then land on your property. So it is their property and you should hire some people to dispute any excuses they have. Good luck. And by the way guys, I'm curious, have you ever had an arborist come to cut down one of your trees? My grandma had this done maybe around 1 or 1.5 years ago, and it was incredibly expensive to get rid of the damn branches, all the leaves, etc. I'm curious, is getting rid of all of that equally expensive in the US? Cause the price really seemed outrageous to me when I heard it at first. And the next one is an update to the neighbor tree story. My post did not get much attention, but I figure I should post an update since it did get resolved in a favorable way. This happened a couple weeks ago, but I only had time to post this recently. Since everything we had seen suggested that criminal charges were a possibility, my mother contacted the police and they visited. She told them about the criminal charges aspect and they said they would ask the judge about it. The judge said that this was a civil matter and we thought that was pretty much the end of that and that we would just have to go to small claims over this. However, a removal crew showed up the next day as if by magic. Our guess is that the neighbor decided we were serious about pursuing this when he saw the cop cars and decided to actually remove the trees. I did not really expect that, but I'm not going to complain about the issue being resolved at no cost to us. We also discovered that the other tree they were asking us about may be a boundary tree when examining the property line, so we now know to keep note of that in the future. And guys, one thing I would love to hear from you. I know that many of you enjoy legal advice, and by the way, I do as well, but I'm curious, what sort of topics do you enjoy the most when it comes to legal advice? If you have anything particular in mind, please let me know in the comments. And the next one is titled, Florida, I've been repeatedly assaulted at school and finally got fed up today and called the police. The administration sent me to the nurse's office and refused to let me speak to the officer or call my mom. I am a 16-year-old female student who attends a private Catholic high school in Northwest Florida. Right after Thanksgiving, my school accepted a new transfer student and put him in a few of my classes. Ever since then, he has not left me alone and it has escalated to the point where he held me down and tried to kiss me during gym class last week. I reported this to my teacher, but was basically told that I should be nice to the new student and let it go. Today during homeroom, I was walking to my desk and he cut my uniform skirt with a pair of scissors as I walked past him. I freaked out and started crying and ran to the bathroom because you could see my panties through the hole in my skirt and I didn't have another change of clothes except my gym uniform. One of the administrators found me crying in the bathroom and called me into her office to discuss what happened. I thought I was safe, but he was sitting in a chair waiting for us. I refused to go into the room and demanded that my mom be called, and eventually the secretary took me to the nurse's office. I kept demanding that my mom be called, but they were just trying to calm me down and trying their best not to call my mom. I got fed up with them and I decided to just dial 911 from my iPhone. 30 minutes go by and I realized that no one was coming to get me to speak to the officer. One of the admins came back and told me that my little stunt was not going to work and that I was going to get detention. I then dialed my mom on my phone right in front of the admin and told her what happened. She freaked out and is on her way to come get me. She works about 45 minutes away. About 30 minutes after I called my mom, I was sent back to class. I snuck out to the bathroom to post this, but I wanted to verify that what the school did to me was illegal. As far as I know, the other student is in his math class right now, texted a friend who confirmed it, and I am still sitting in a ripped skirt with my panties visible. I was never even taken to get my gym clothes, and I was sent back to class dressed like this. What they did was illegal, right? They cannot just blame me for being attacked, can they? Please help because I am freaking out. And a user in the comments said, I'm a teacher in a public school in Pennsylvania. Our school lists all of the procedures and policies on our district website. That is where they define certain words, assault for example, and spell out the consequences. If you are feeling up to it, I would check your student handbook /school website /diocesan website to see what you can find. It is good ammo to have if they say there's nothing we can do. I'm really sorry you're going through this, OP. This is bullcrap and no one should have to. Not legal advice, but if it is a diocesan school, I would also take action by talking to the diocese. Even if it is not attached to your diocese, if they are a Catholic school, they will have to work with the local bishop to maintain that status. Bring this to them as well. And another user in the comments, called Cardinal29, said, good for you, make a big noisy stink about this. It is completely ridiculous that they are threatening you with detention when they fail to protect you from this guy. It sounds like the school was trying to make this go away by having you sit in the office together and make nice. I sincerely hope your mother is full of righteous indignation and that she rips them a new one. They are worried about losing Mr. Crazy Pants' tuition check. I bet I could even guess why he was tossed out of his last school and transferred into yours. Update, people are asking, so here's a quick update. My mom came to the school and was super pissed off. They didn't know which bathroom I was in, so mom had to text me to find out, which made her more angry at the school for not even knowing where I was. When she saw my skirt, she got really quiet and called my aunt to come take me home, and she is still at the school dealing with it. Aunt and I just got back from getting some food. I will let you all know how it pans out. And I gotta say guys, this story is just awful and baffling, and I really hope that some of the higher ups in school got fired for this. But anyway, let's check out what the update says. And by the way, if you have watched until here and enjoy my content, please don't forget to post some star emojis in the comments to show your support. Thank you so much in advance. Update to the school story. Hey guys, I made this post about a month ago and a lot of people asked me to update, so here I am. First of all, I would like to apologize because I was severely overreacting when I made my post and I was not acting in a mature or calm manner. At the time I was desperate for help and freaking out, and I did not have all the facts about the situation. Second of all, I would like to say that I'm not a troll. I got a few angry messages from people about my post and it took a lot of effort to ignore them. I overreacted, but that doesn't make me a bad person. Thanks to everyone who took their time to even talk to me, because replying to your messages helped me calm down. Now onto the actual update, and hopefully this will clear things up. I made my post because my skirt had been cut into ribbons and I was being forced to go back to class instead of being allowed to stay in the nurse's office until my mom came to get me. I didn't know this at the time, but only my dad is listed as my emergency contact and the nurse was trying to contact him on the phone. We don't know why my mom's contact form was missing from my file, and that was a big issue with my parents because my mom should have been first on my contact list. My dad's office does not have good reception, so the calls kept going straight to voicemail. The administration never told me that they were trying to contact my dad, so I kept panicking and freaking out, thinking that they were not doing anything to help. My attacker was suspended for 3 days for cutting my skirt and was back in class the next week. I was suspended for a week for making the call to the police officer. We are not allowed to use phones in school, and that is the justification the school used for suspending me. It does not really matter because my parents have decided to let me finish high school online, but I am upset that I received a longer suspension than my attacker. My parents and I went down to the police station and filed a report against my attacker for assaulting me. Since we are both juveniles, we don't think it will go anywhere, but the report has been for the record. The school never made a formal announcement, but the male admin who sent me back to class with the ripped skirt has been missing from the hallway since the Monday following the incident, and no one has seen him since. Rumor mill is that he was fired, but no one can confirm or deny for sure. Photos of me did end up on Snapchat thanks to a few a-hole classmates. Not sure what I can do about that, so I'm trying to ignore it and move on. 2 of my classmates are also leaving this school because my attacker tried to pull a similar stunt with them, so apparently it is still an issue at the school, but I have washed my hands of the situation because nothing I have done has seemed to have an effect. The school only has less than 200 students K-12, so I'm not sure why they would rather lose 3 students than the one jackass who causes problems, but I don't really care anymore. And I gotta say guys, that is not quite the satisfying ending I was hoping for, but good for the OP that she does not have to go to that awful school anymore, but that is just how legal advice sometimes is. The ending is not always as satisfying as we would like it to be. I hope you understand. And the next one is titled US New Jersey. My crazy ex keeps trying to file restraining orders against me even though we don't speak. I'm not sure what to do. He broke up with me back in October after cheating on me the entire relationship. After losing it on me and stalking my location via my cell phone and verbally threatening me in December, I filed a police report against him. While filing, I was told by my local department that he had tried to file a temporary restraining order against me, but it was denied. Of course it was, since he was the one coming after me and I was just asking to be left alone. I had to take him to small claims court for a few things in January, and while at court was told by the county sheriff that we needed to be separated due to a restraining order. I stated that was strange because it was denied. The sheriff said it was probably a mistake. I live in New Jersey, by the way. I called the local and county offices to follow up on this claim after court was resolved. I won and was told by both parties that there was nothing listed under either of our names. His father works for the local police in the town he lives in, as an for your information. Fast forward to last Wednesday, he starts harassing me via text from a phone number that is a landline when I googled it, so most likely he is texting me through some service. Then later in the evening, I get a call from a girl pal of his making accusations that I am bad-mouthing her in a place that I haven't visited in well over 6 months. She continues to threaten me with suing me, and I just dismiss it because everything she says is a lie and go on my trip to visit a friend. I came home on Sunday to a business card from a patrolman in my town stuck in my door requesting I call him. I have, and I left a message and have not heard back. Today I come home to another card from another patrolman in my door. I've been told by friends this might be due to him trying to serve me with papers for a restraining order. Could this be the case? If so, on what grounds? We have not spoken in months. Also, what recourse do I have? I work for the government and this could definitely affect my job. I'm afraid I'm being painted as this crazy person, even though I'm just trying to get away from him and live my life and hope that he leaves me alone. It doesn't look like that is going to happen though. I'm honestly scared for my life and sleep with a knife near my bed because I have no idea what he's going to do next. And a user in the comments said, have you filed for a restraining order yet? It sounds like you have pretty good grounds for one. Repeated unwanted contact, harassment, threats, prior police reports. Having said that, if he's trying to get a restraining order against you, your best recourse is to show up at the hearing with your own lawyer and repeat the relevant bits of the story you just told us about his past attempts to get an order and that he's recently been in contact with you of his own volition as well as through friends of his. A temporary restraining order can be obtained relatively easy. They are short-lived for a reason, days to weeks. They restrict your freedoms without giving you due process, so they only usually last long enough to schedule a hearing as to whether a restraining order can be granted at all. From the law text, temporary restraining order. In court proceedings instituted under the Prevention of Domestic Violence Act of 1990, the judge shall issue a temporary restraining order when the applicant appears to be in danger of domestic violence. The order may be issued ex parte when necessary to protect the life, health or well-being of a victim on whose behalf the relief is sought. The ex parte bit is important here. It means that a temporary restraining order can be granted when the judge has only heard the applicant's side of the story. If there's no grounds for the order, it will be overturned at the hearing for the final restraining order. The judge will not be amused if your ex's testimony in favor of a TRO turns out to have been mostly lies. And another user in the comments said, hire an attorney, file a case for wrongful use of process after your attorney sends him a warning letter and he ignores it. Request monetary damages and petition for an order restraining him from filing against you going forward. Not a great situation, but if he's hell-bent on harassing you like this, you are going to have to get the courts involved enough to end it. Small claim stuff is not sufficient. And another user said, I'm not a lawyer, but when I filed a restraining order TN against my ex, I was provided with the address he was served at. Just a thought, but it seems like that would make it awfully easy for him to keep tabs on you if he's getting information about you every time a court date is set. If that is something you think he is capable of, definitely follow the advice above about getting a lawyer to sue for wrongful use and also perhaps request that he be restrained from contacting you in this manner in the future. And Ripe Stars, I'm wondering, did you ever have a partner that turned into an absolutely crazy ex once you broke up? Feel free to let us know about your experiences in the comments. And the next one is an update to the Crazy Ex story. First, thank you all from New Jersey for helping me when I posted originally. I wanted to follow up with the final result quickly. Thank you all for your advice and help. I was served with a TRO, I went to court the first day to have it adjourned and give myself time to get an attorney since I had less than 12 hours to prepare. I had to pony up the money. My awesome current boyfriend helped me with the retainer. I gave my attorney all of the info I had and he tore my ex apart in court. His testimony to get the TRO were lies and he apparently filed another police report which was also based on lies as well. The judge dismissed the TRO without needing to hear from me, thank God. I had to try to not smile in court while my attorney told him in a legal way that he was a liar and thief and his claims were ridiculous and not actually domestic violence. My favorite quote was, "Sir, do you know what domestic violence is? And also, do you know what every day means?" At least now I know I am capable of handling anything in my life. Overcoming an abusive relationship and the aftermath has made me realize life is short, time to start living it in a way that makes me happy. And guys, unfortunately we have reached the end for today's video. I hope you still enjoy r/LegalAdvice and the mostly satisfying updates I usually read on the channel. Please let me know in the comments if you still enjoy legal advice or not. In addition, I would just like to reiterate that we are super close to 29,000 aka 30,000 subscribers and it would be awesome if we could at least reach 29,000 subscribers this month. Thank you very much in advance and I would just like to thank all of you in general for sticking with me since the beginning of 2019 because I know there are quite a few people left who are actually watching me since the beginning. Without all of you, none of this would have been possible and I am forever grateful for your support. Thank you so much for supporting me. Either way, I hope you have a fantastic day and I see you again tomorrow.